Is there an organization that supports you as a dancer and trans?
No.
None whatsoever.
That was surprising.
I work for a queer ballet company called Ballets, and we are right now an all trans company, and as far as I know, we are the only all transgender ballet organization that I'm aware of. I know there's other queer ballet. There's so much queer ballet.
I'm shocked that the homosexual community has not been supportive of what you guys. It's our own community.
Yes. Yes.
So no, they don't get any support,
No.
as far as I can tell.
However, that doesn't mean that people aren't supportive. I am a really strong believer in people, in connection, in humanity, and being able to connect with people. That's why I love dance. That's why I love performing. And I find the more I do that, the more I'm able to do that, and the more I continue to push to do that against the world. Yes. The more people understand, the more people I resonate with, the more people I connect with, and if all I can do is a drop in the bucket, hopefully one day that'll add up to a full bucket. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Any questions from the audience?
Yes, I have a question, but first I'll leave in. I'm a linguist, but way out of the mainstream linguist. I work on how human beings use our bodies with the tools that we have to express ourselves, to communicate. In my linguistics courses here, I always have an arts component because because I want them to do language that way. And I've come to think myself that speech and dance are the most direct art forms because we're not using some external instrument, we're using our own body.
Yeah, depends.
So that's like where I'm coming from. But my question is, a couple of years ago, there was an exhibit at the New York Public Library for Performing Arts and Lincoln Center that you may have seen. Is it called Borders or Frontiers or Crossings or something? And the theme of it was how across the decades, from the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, people found in dance freedom of expression that had been denied them elsewhere. Now, there are, of course, boundaries famously in gender roles, but this was about political boundaries, geographical boundaries, and so my question certainly includes gender, but it's broader than that. How do you feel, and if so, how do you feel that dance gives you that freedom of expression?
I feel like for me, at least before I even like physically transitioned, like because I very much in like the classical ballet world, and it is so gendered that like even with my like own body, I felt better doing the men's steps. I felt more comfortable doing like all of their jumps and all of that kind of thing. And it almost like really showed me like, okay, like this is what you want, this is what your body is naturally going to.
And like final thing that I want to say is like, I feel as a trans person, the direct relationship between like politics, my body, and dance and art and creation, and how these two go hand in hand. And my body is like the vessel and also like the in-between. The state of the world right now for transgender people is really scary. It's scarier than it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago felt different. 2020 felt different than 2025 does for trans people. 2018 felt a lot different than 2025 does in terms of my physical safety when I'm out on the street, to be very frank. However, like my presence in the dance world, my art making, my creation as a dancer, my body is always the medium. So my transness, my body not being typical to what people expect to see on stage will always be part of who I am and my dancing. And as this world, this political world shifts, it's imperative to me that like my dancing, I like hold it and I like tend to it and I protect it and I keep working with it, because art and like politics go hand in hand. How times change and how things manifest or don't manifest and all of the different ways the world can look, I think art is directly related to. And